So what can we expect from Roland Garros without these kind of big names?
Well, yeah, I mean,
it's a weird transition in time.
Well, we were talking about it off air, and it's like, okay, I'm going to write down, forever and a day, and I hope I frame this question the right way. When was the last time you would have taken the field over like the three favorites? Right? So if I give you right now, and the betting favorites I think right now or the four betting favorites are Alcaraz, and it was minus 210 yesterday. Novak at like minus 250. Sinner was like minus 350, and Rafa was the fourth favorite still at minus 1,000. When was the last time that you would have taken the field over the four favorites? So, obviously big three plus Murray, like you wouldn't have done that ever. You would have been betting on like hackers like me against them. And then Carlos enters the conversation, and then you're not betting against, remember going to the US Open last year, it's like, oh, it's Alcaraz or Novak. There are no other players. Like that was the conversation. I mean, I think you're going back to like even 03, I think you take like the four favorites against the field. Yeah, I mean, I think you're going back to like 02. Like the Wimbledon was a mess in 02. It was like everyone lost, Hewitt won, but it was like Malise, Rusetsky, like a bunch of guys that weren't in the top 20. I think you're going back 22 years. Like however far you're going back, that age can legally drink. That's how far back you're going.
I don't think Techie Sean was even alive.
Techie Sean, what people don't know is that Techie Sean is 15 years old. And he does a great job. And it's weird because he's also married.
It's a joke legally, by the way, if anybody is listening.
Yeah. Well,
we don't use child labor.
Yeah, we don't. He's calm down. He's 16. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Yeah, he was saying that. What were you saying, John? You were saying like ever since you've been alive, like we looked back to basically the last draw that didn't have the big three in it, and it was it was the Aussie Open 99, I think, was the last time there wasn't one, and Roger played Roland Garros for the first time in 99. So you don't remember life without these guys.
I was born in 98, so that would have been I would have been a year old.
Jesus. You missed it. Those are great days, and they weren't terrorizing all of us. God, you're young. Mike, I will say real quick, and then we're going to get to, I want to get to this field conversation and how it affects it, but I also want to be distracted so we have like a group text of our buddies, and Mike Hayden goes,
oh God.
He sends this text the other day, and he goes, his wife is Rose. She's awesome. Rose just called me a middle-aged white guy, and it's like, it was like crickets from the group, and I'm like, okay, well, Mike, why don't you tell us how old you are?
I'll be 40 the end of the month.
Okay,
so I'm 39. I'm not technically middle-aged yet.
And the average. Okay, you know the average age that a man lives to in this country, correct? Do you know that?
Yeah, I'm in denial. No,
it's 76 years old.
God. So
I'm not great at math. The last time I went to school was like right when Sean was born. So like by definition, you are middle-aged, and are you white?
Yes. And I'm
middle-aged
by definition.
So are you a middle-aged white guy?
Her commentary was correct.
You were so pissed. I loved how pissed you. It's like, it was as if she said, like, I don't believe in gravity. It was as if she became like a flat earther for a second. Like you were that upset at like the content that was coming out of her mouth.
And I mean, the context was as we were leaving the Wells Fargo golf tournament where it was the average.
Yeah, just because you're younger than every other guy that's watching the golf tournament that you're leaving doesn't mean that like you skew the national average like for any reason. Okay. Anyways, I just thought of that, and I was like, I remember I was next to Brooke.
Thank you for that.
You were like, Rose just called me. It's like you were tattling on her. I'm like, it's a little on the nose.
No one backed me up.
No, because of
I tried a different text thread too, and they said the same thing.
Because math.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, because math. So
Maybe
anyway,
the Saudis will sponsor it.
yeah. That's another lane. Anyway, so like at Roland Garros, it's going to be weird because who are the favorites? I think like there's 15 guys that could convince themselves they can win this tournament, right? Like you're looking at Casper Ruud. He's made the last 2 finals. Hasn't played great in Madrid or Rome. Made the final in Monte-Carlo. Stefanos Tsitsipas wins Monte-Carlo. Has been up 2 sets in a Roland Garros final before. Rublev wins Madrid and is still alive in Rome as of when we're taping this. Like Taylor Fritz made the semis of Madrid, has made a final in Munich, and is still alive in Rome. Like he can convince himself that he's got a shot here. Medvedev has never played well at Roland Garros, but like is playing pretty good on clay. Zverev can convince himself that he's one of the favorites. Now he has some off-court distractions. His trial for domestic abuse starts that week, so he's going to be dealing with a lot of stuff. And let's see how that shakes out, and then comment on it. But it's just there's so much weird stuff going on that has nothing to do with healthy tennis players in a draw. Dimitrov is playing well. Like he can convince himself, I can be in the last weekend of this tournament. Karen Khachanov has been in the semis of a slam before. I mean, it's just crazy how many names.
Could we see a run by any of these young guys coming up?
Yeah, I mean, yes yes for this Roland Garros. Yes, like would it shock you if Novak had a rough draw and like struggled in the first couple rounds based on he is better or worse? And I know everyone's going to yell at me, and I can't wait for you guys to tell me I'm full of shit and how much better he is than me. I get it. I understand that. I fully understand that. And also, there have never been more question marks about him in the last 15 years going into a slam. Not if he can win. Like he could win. He could still win the tournament. But he is trying to find something on a tennis court right now for the first time in a long time. And if you disagree with that, your head is in the sand. Your head's in the sand. Like that's just denial. That doesn't mean that he can't win the tournament. Doesn't mean that he can't find it. There are more question marks about him entering the tennis arena right now to play the first round of a slam than there has been going into any slam.
When you were playing, when there were tournaments, big slams or 1000s, where you felt like kind of the favorites were a little hobbled or maybe not at the top of their game, what was the energy like in kind of the locker rooms and backstage, where everyone kind of felt like they had an opportunity? Like
that was only like 18 months of my career. That was only like, I mean, it's depressing. That was only like 18 months of my career. And then they all happened. But, yeah, it's just different. I have a hard time even thinking about it because it was just such an alternate universe from how I played most of the slams. Even when I was 2 going in, it was like Roger was an overwhelming favorite for 5 years. So it's got to be exciting though. I mean, if I'm one of these coaches, I am drilling into my players right now. Like the opportunity is knocking. It's time to turn the page. Fuck history. Not in a disrespectful way, but in a way that we're approaching a tournament. I can respect all the greatness and say, it's fucking time. And I would be in my player's ear if I'm one of these 15 guys that I just named. But it's interesting because it's like the women's game has been wide open where we've had a bunch of slam winners and now it's almost flipped. Now we have, 4 or 5 like favorites that are seemingly at the tail end of every tournament. And the men's side is like, who's the favorite? Carlos Alcaraz, the betting favorite, he's missed 2 out of the 3 Masters 1000 and said he couldn't hit a forehand in the other one. He's the betting favorite right now. It's open. It's like Taco Bell right now. It's open 24/7. You can drive through. It's open.